All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm happy to be back in the beautiful state of Arizona. Nolan Wells, this case keep getting stupider, in my opinion, and it's sad that the boy lost his life. I couldn't imagine as a father, as a parent, losing your kid, but my God, can black people stop making everything about race? Jamie Carney, murdered by an asylum seeker. And if you don't know who Jamie Carney is, it's that weirdo that was online talking about how much she loved Islam until Islam caught up with her. And I'm not trying to be funny or nothing because it's a sad story, but look, bro, you put it out there on the internet. Riots in Maine over another idiot who tried to drive over ICE agents and got popped like a lollipop. All right. And then one thing I want to clear up, because I'm back, I'm in my studio, I got everything I need here, is that I want to debunk some of these crazy conspiracies about Charlie Kirk. It's going to be very quick. I did live streams about it. I did videos about it. I've been doing content all week. I'm just going to hit them, boom, 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 and then we get into the rest of the stories. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. Welcome back. I want to first of all say thank you to all the people who subscribe to the Tatum membership program. I appreciate you guys, whether you're a rookie that's just now coming in or a deputy chief. I love you all. Thank you for the support. Thank all of you guys who support us on Substack. That was huge over this past week, covering the trial of Charlie Kirk's homicide, murder, assassination, whatever you want to call it. And Substack was clutch, man. You guys were listening to the updates, and it was all going very smoothly. So I appreciate all of y'all who subscribed to me on Substack. All right, so let's get to the Charlie conspiracies real quick. Just a couple of them that have been out there. Some of them I'm not going to waste my time putting videos out there. I could just tell you straight up and down about it. Some I'll have some videos that articulate to back up what I'm saying. First and foremost, all the conspiracy theories, their theories have fallen apart indefinitely because none of their conspiracies and none of their theories were rooted in truth whatsoever. No facts, no court documents, no arrest affidavit. They didn't read nothing. They didn't check on nothing. They don't know what they're talking about, and they made up stuff to go viral, to get you emotional because they leveraged the death of Charlie Kirk to make money. That's all that has happened. Unless you're willing to say that conspiracy theorists are all idiots and they just make up every conspiracy with no grounds for it. One or the other. They're either uninformed or they're complete idiots. And in this scenario, there's a bunch of things that were floating around that there's just unequivocal evidence that they're all lies. One of the things that I think was a valid question mark, the question mark I had in this trial was the 30-06. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been proven in multiple facets that Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06. Let me tell you where the proof lies, and it's very easy, and we'll have a clip from the actual trial that kind of proves our point on this. But for one, Tyler Robinson turned himself in. Tyler Robinson admitted that he did this crime to Lance Twiggs and also to his Discord chat, which they have evidence, which was forensically extracted by the government. And I'll say the government, the state government was investigating this stuff. They did a sit-down interview with these individuals who clarified it. And then the federal government, which is the FBI, also had some extracting support that shows exactly what came from the cell phone, came from the Discord channel. Now, outside of him confessing to doing it, outside of him confessing that he used a certain weapon that was found in the bushes and all that other stuff, they found his DNA on the weapon, on the trigger guard, the foregrip, the optic. His DNA is found on it. 100% primary source DNA. And then the ammunition, the rounds that was in the gun, one that was spent, the spent casing that he did not eject, his DNA was on the spent casing. His DNA was on the other casings. His DNA was on the other rounds that came from the same box. His DNA was on the engraving tool. His DNA was, the engraving tool matched the rounds that he engraved. He testified, or at least Lance Twiggs testified, that he had asked for the engraving tool, and he had mentioned that he was going to engrave stuff on the rounds. And then when you go to the forensic ballistic evidence, the rounds that were found in Charlie Kirk's body came from a 30 class round, a 30 caliber round. So it wasn't a 5.56, it wasn't a 2.23, it was a 30 class round. And when you put all of that stuff together, it was clearly he was shot with a 30-06. Now, let's bring up the ammo that was discovered. So it was this Remington, and we'll put that on the screen. It was this Remington round that was a soft point round, which means that the round disintegrated. It wasn't a full metal jacket like you would see that it probably blow through you like a piece of paper. It was a soft tip round. And so that explains why it didn't just blow through Charlie Kirk and why it fragmented the way it did. I saw the fragmentation in the courtroom. The forensic investigator showed it on the screen and showed how she was able to get to the determination of what caliber and all this other stuff. So that is a lie. Let's go to another one. The exploding microphone was a complete lie. You got to be insane to even believe it in the first place. But even beyond the insanity of believing that he was killed by a microphone, we can go to the court, and in the court hearing, it was laid out very clearly what the autopsy revealed. Roll the clip.
So I'm going to sustain the objection as it relates to the manner of death. It does not say murder.
At 11. No.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you again, and you can look at it.
Yeah.
And would you mind relating what the doctor reports as the manner of death?
Yes, I misspoke. It does say homicide.
And
Pause.
then the immediate.
So what you heard at the beginning, which I wish we just cut that out because it caused more confusion than not. He had mentioned murder, but the documents say homicide. Now 999 billion times out of whatever measurement you want to take, people don't understand the difference between murder and homicide. So it was semantics, kind of not really a semantics. It's a legal differentiation that needs to be clarified and accurate in the court of law, but it wasn't somehow changing the fact that Charlie was killed by somebody else. So he said that it was a homicide, and go back and play what he said the manner of death was according to the autopsy.
Relating what the doctor reports as the manner of death.
Yes, I misspoke. It does say homicide.
And then the immediate cause of death.
Gunshot wound of the neck.
Nothing further, Judge. Well, at this moment, I think it'd be a great idea that we take a 15-minute break.
So the autopsy revealed that he died from a gunshot wound to the neck, a gunshot wound. Fragmentations of the bullet was found in his body. Clearly, it was not an exploded microphone. People were saying that Tyler Robinson never stepped foot on campus. We have ungodly amounts of evidence that Tyler Robinson stepped foot on campus. He admitted to it, to his Discord channel. He admitted to it to Lance Twiggs. He clearly admitted to it, and I'm saying clearly because they didn't put the actual information out in the court hearing, but in the affidavit that they submitted to the court when they first arrested him, they said that his parents individually identified him from the film of the surveillance footage from campus. So his parents individually identified him being on campus. He admitted that he killed Charlie Kirk, which means he was on campus. They identified his vehicle through the license plate. He was actually pulled over that night after he killed Charlie at 12:30 a.m. by a police officer who identified his vehicle and his person. They just didn't know he was involved in the shooting. So they were able to retroactively, when I say retroactively, they were able to go back and look at the film and see this was the same car and the license plate that matched Tyler Robinson, registered to him and his mom. And then also they had his identification, which was the same person, description, all the other things when he was in his vehicle that they see in the footage. He admitted that he changed clothes. I mean, you go down the list. They had him at Chick-fil-A. They had him at Dairy Queen on camera. And then when he turned himself in, he was wearing a maroon shirt with the same hat and his shoes. His shoes was eventually taken from him. His shoes was measured with a shoe impression after he jumped off the building. That matched him. I mean, this is the easiest, most cut and dry case that I've ever seen in my life. Egyptian planes being involved, clearly there's no such thing. Let's see. Let's go to, it was one of the cause of death. We got that Lance pictures identifying him. I already said it. We don't need to show the clip. The text message exchange, we don't need to show the clip, but in the court, they clearly proved through text messages that Tyler Robinson admitted to it, and then he also confirmed that Tyler Robinson reiterated the same thing to him in person. Let's look at a couple conspiracies, and I'm going to move on. It says Tyler Robinson didn't act alone. Well, we don't have any evidence that he didn't act alone. When you make a claim, like, for instance, let's just say that there was a shooting that occurred down the street from your house. It was one suspect, and he shot somebody. You can't go on a rabbit trail and say, for the sake of saying it, that he clearly didn't work alone. Well, you got to base that on evidence before you make the suggestion that he didn't work alone. You can think maybe it's possible that somebody else helped him, but if you don't have the evidence, you cannot say he didn't work alone. We don't have any witness testimony. We don't have any declaration from him. We don't have Lance Twigg saying that he could either confessed or Lance Twigg believed that he worked with somebody else. We have no evidence that Lance Twigg was directly involved in the shooting. We have the defense team is not arguing that somebody else is involved in this case. They have not made the argument at all. They didn't even deny what the prosecution was saying about Tyler Robinson being involved in the case. Okay? Lance Twigg was a federal asset and an informant. The reason that I don't think that it is true, even though it could be possible, is because Lance Twigg was given qualified immunity. If he's an informant, then he don't need qualified immunity. He's already an informant with an agreement to testify against Tyler Robinson. So that to me gives the impression that he's not already an informant. A federal asset, you going into a rabbit hole of stupidity if you got to say a federal asset because you go, he's a federal asset to what end? Then you have to conclude or draw an inference that the federal government had something to do with this with zero evidence. And the federal government comprised of Donald Trump and people on our side who love Charlie Kirk dearly, and he was helping Republicans win. So I doubt that a Republican administration will kill Charlie Kirk over, because they don't want to win no more. The shooting was an inside job. There's zero evidence that Turning Point had anything to do with Erica Kirk, had anything to do with it. His security team had anything to do with it. There's no evidence of it, and the defense team is not even mentioning it whatsoever. The security was intentionally reduced or failed deliberately. There's no evidence of that at all from his security team. We know the security team. There's no security team on planet Earth that want their principal to get killed so they can be unemployed and potentially a part of an investigation. Text messages that were confessions were fabricated and altered. In the court proceeding, they testified to the authentication of the text message and everything, and the defense did not deny, and they had no evidence to rebut or repudiate, whatever you want to say, the evidence that this was authenticated communication. There were multiple shooters. That theory was brought up. It was debunked. There was no evidence there was any other shooter. There was only one shot to Charlie Kirk's neck, and that was the fatal shot. They found a round on the top of a roof of another place. It was accounted for. It came from a law enforcement weapon. It was a .223, which did not match the forensic evidence found in his body through the autopsy, which was the actual round fragments. The maroon shirt theory, meaning a bunch of people had maroon shirts on. There was no witnesses on scene that mentioned that. It was not testified by Tyler Robinson. The defense didn't bring it up. The prosecution didn't bring it up. There's no evidence of it on campus. There's no reason to believe that anybody else but Tyler Robinson did it because we have Tyler Robinson in his vehicle. We have Tyler Robinson arriving on campus. We have Tyler Robinson eating Chick-fil-A, going back off campus, changing his clothes, getting back on campus, taking a shot, jumping off the roof, and admitting to it. Foreign intelligence agencies were involved. There's no evidence of that whatsoever, and nobody that tells you that can actually provide evidence, meaning that it was Mossad, it was Russia, it was Ukraine. None of that is evidence. Charlie was targeted because of his information he possessed, Epstein files, foreign influence. If that was the case, then there's a whole bunch of influencers that you used to like that we don't watch no more that will be either dead, smuggled, kidnapped, because I bet you 1,000% that many of them hate Israel. They hate Donald Trump now. Like think about it. The person who loved Israel and loved Donald Trump, even though he had questions about things that Israel did, is people somehow think he's the one that got killed by the government. When you got people literally hating Donald Trump, telling people that don't join the military, telling people that Donald Trump is evil, he's the Antichrist. They're actively fighting for him not to get elected, hoping we lose in the midterms. I mean, and they hate Jews. So if anybody's going to get killed by anybody, according to another government or inside job, it probably would be people that are talking like that. But clearly, they're doing just fine, traveling, vacationing, at the UFC fight. I mean, you name it, they there. With no threat. They're not afraid of exploding pages. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go to Nolan real quick. Give me 30 seconds. If you really thought that Israel, who took over every chain of development and manufacturing of these beepers for 20 years, the craziest inside job of explosion and counter-terrorist, whatever, that has ever existed on planet Earth. And if you thought they were that good, and you thought they can infiltrate our government, take over our president, and kill Charlie Kirk with no evidence, then you definitely wouldn't be traveling. You wouldn't be doing nothing in a foreign country. You would be doing nothing. You wouldn't even mention them because you would be dead on arrival. But the people that's telling you that Israel is so capable of doing all of this ain't scared at all. I saw Tucker Carlson at the fight the other night. Oh, but Israel, you wouldn't even be traveling. You'd be scared they're going to kill you at your house. The Mossad is poison people and all kind of stuff. You ain't scared of these people. You don't believe that you saying. All right, let's get to Nolan. Nolan is a case that grinds my gears. Let me say this before anybody get mad at me and say I'm insensitive. It is one of the most sad stories that I have heard this year. One of them. As a parent, it is hurtful. It is devastating for your child to lose his or her life. Especially when they go somewhere with friends and they come back without the friends and somehow your kid is floating in water and you will never see or talk to him ever again. I understand the hurt that the parents may feel, but I do not think it helps their child's cause by having Benjamin Crump on the team pushing racism. I'm going to tell you why I think all of this is disingenuous to some degree. It's a money grab, and it's shameful, and they're shaming Nolan Wells' life because none of this needed to be made public. You only do this public for clout. You can go get your son an alternate autopsy. You can let the authorities do an investigation. You can hire a private investigation. You can do all of these different things without it being public because you have no evidence whatsoever that there was impropriety in this investigation. So normally what a person would do is go, I'm going to do these things on the back end and compare it to what the law enforcement say. And when I see an impropriety, when I see a lack of investigatory efforts, I'm then going to make it public. But to make it public with no evidence that anything actually was afoot here, just a hunch, that says all I need to know about some people's motives in this situation. Let's roll the news clip. Roll it.
The family says the possibility that their son accidentally drowned and was somehow separated from his cell phone and keys does not add up.
We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
On July 4th, 18-year-old Nolan Wells took a boat trip with a group of friends to Horn Island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. But the college football player never returned home. Police say he chose to stay behind.
It's so hard for me to believe that he would choose to stay on the island. It just wasn't in his character. It wasn't his character.
Wells' mother reported him missing that night. 2 days later, a park ranger found his body in the water on the island's northwest corner. Wells' parents revealed they tracked down his keys and cell phone at the home of a friend and immediately went to his Snapchat.
When we opened it up, there was nothing. There were no saved pictures. There were no snaps from that day.
Authorities said they believe
Time out. Like these are the things that, like, my investigatory mind, if y'all don't like the word investigatory, my investigative mind these are the things that make me question, and I wish that people would slow down and do a little bit more due diligence before they put this out to the world. When the mother says, and first of all, I understand the parents are saying it's not in his character. That makes total sense. Second of all, black people don't mess with Nolan. I want y'all to understand, because I'm the black person snitch. I'm a whistleblower. When you see a black kid that only hang around white dudes, I haven't seen a single picture with him around a single black person. Black folks shun black people like this. Ain't nobody with him like that in the black community. I just want y'all to know. You get caught Uncle Tom, coon, sellout, you chucking and jiving for the white man. You telling me this boy is only hanging around white people and somehow he a part of, black people shun you. So I don't want to hear no black person trying to come to his rescue now when in the black community they shun you if you hanging around white people too much. All right, and then mama said, put mama back on there. No, you don't have to put on there. I can say it. Mama said when we opened his phone, we saw that his Snapchat was deleted. Here's two things that I think is important the questions to ask to get to the bottom of what we're talking about here. Did he have a lock on his phone? Because you say when we open his phone, do you mean you had to put a code in to open his phone, or his phone was open? If his phone is open, then it's open for manipulation. If you had to put a code into his phone, or you put a thing in his phone, and maybe these kids couldn't have deleted anything from his phone. Just because you see his Snapchat phone deletion don't mean that it had anything to do with the phone, because you can log into Snapchat on other devices and still be able to engage. I think it's unfair to insinuate people have done something wrong if you don't have clear evidence. Roll it.
Wells' death was an accidental drowning, but the family's attorney, Ben Crump, says there is a video showing Wells in an argument.
You talk about this video that's out there that shows this apparent argument going on where Nolan says, "Where's my freaking phone? What are you freaking doing?" And then his phone turns up missing.
CBS News could not independently confirm that exchange, even with the help of an audio expert. His parents remain suspicious, saying he would never have left his phone and keys behind.
Now, that to me is very suspicious if he's leaving his phone behind. His keys, maybe, because his keys was at a friend's house. Well, you're not going to take your keys to the island with you while you're swimming and going on a boat trip, because you don't need your keys. So him leaving his keys behind makes sense, but his phone is a different story. And let me just say this, and I just want to get people to put the thinking cap on. If these kids did something wrong, they wouldn't keep his phone. They would throw his phone in the water. If I'm just saying, I'm not saying that they did or didn't. I'm not saying that they were smart or not smart. But you would think if the kids had done something wrong to him and was trying to cover it up, because they clearly said, we didn't leave with him. Do you really think that they would have his phone in their possession and they would give it to his parents? If you did something and you don't want nobody to know, the easiest thing for you to do is do what Hillary Clinton did and take a hammer and bash a phone up and sprinkle the pieces in the water. That to me makes me feel like that the friends, it's not very clear that they would have something negative to have done if they're providing the mom and dad with the things that you would destroy if you had something to do with his death, because it would be what we call evidence. Now, Benjamin Crump got on TV and lied and said it was Nolan on the thing. No. You should have said, if he was a real attorney, he would have said, suspected that it was Nolan. He made the declaration it was Nolan on that video. Now, roll the next clip.
Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
Time out. Y'all wrong for that. Y'all wrong. Go back. Y'all wrong for this. Y'all said, not unless this is a picture of a different friend. I swear, I hope to God that the boy in this picture ain't the boy y'all talking about. He refused to go on camera. Don't tell me, brother, you finna be rich. What a young man. Zell me some. Because you finna be rich. There is no way, it's gotta be a different buddy. There's no way that this kid told them, I'm afraid for my life, so I don't want to talk to you on camera. And then they put a picture of him on camera to the world with his voice. Roll the clip.
Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepard addressed this viral video that investigators have been studying. Wells's parents worried it showed their son involved in a confrontation, but Shepard said that's him, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met.
They met that day, and it was kind of one of those things. It did come off that day that he really did like her, but that was the only time they'd ever hung out was at Horn Island on July 4th.
Investigators believe Wells drowned and say there were no immediate signs of foul play. While the investigation goes on, Trayston Shepard wants the focus on his friend.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan, and let us remember him as in like the sweet guy. I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown.
Why do white people gotta always be sensical over black people? Not always, but this is why I say this. Why come a kid goes on the news and say people need to let the investigation play it out? Let's focus on his life. Let's focus on and mourn his loss, instead of hiring a controversial civil rights attorney to make everything about race and nothing about Nolan. You know, we don't know nothing about Nolan other than he got killed by some white boys. This is what y'all promoting. At this point, the reason that I don't have any reason to believe there was impropriety because there's no evidence. At this point, it seemed like Nolan was hanging out with his boys. He got a little hot piece of you know what, and he wanted to stay to the island and do his game. This happens every day in America. Young boy see a chick, she fine, they on vacation, he trying to smash. Can we just be honest? So Nolan was like, man, I'm finna kick it with her, man. Y'all can go back. I'm gonna hang out with her, and we, hey, you see what I'm working with? Let me do my thing, and then I'll meet y'all later. That seems reasonable to this point. Now let's get to Benjamin Milk Dud, ambulance chasing Crump. And listen to the foolishness that he's saying on TV. Roll it.
A lived experience for many black Americans that oftentimes when our children are killed in highly questionable situations, that there is this notion that, oh, it was nothing wrong, no foul play, let's just sweep it under the rug. Well, we refuse to sweep it under the rug. We refuse to just let Nolan Wells' death be in vain. We're going to make sure that we get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Truth.
Because Nolan deserves it.
I didn't know the word truth had an F on it. Truth. Y'all hired that man. I need to create a consulting company. Black families, stop with these activists. This is what got old boy 35 years in prison. He deserved to go to prison, but he got 35 because y'all made it by race. And if you'd have partnered with his dad, with Austin Metcalf's dad, and y'all would have did a kumbaya, and he would have took the stand and showed some remorse, they probably would have gave him 10, 15 years. You got 35 years because y'all playing these games. This kid, Nolan, there's no evidence, but they interjecting this race stuff in it. And so what are you going to do in this situation? People are going to be less likely to want to resolve y'all accusing people of being racist. Here go Mr. Pinocchio. My nose is out here. Now, your nose way out here, bro. Your nose, you Pinocchio in this thing. Roll the clip.
My nose is out here. My eyes are here. My brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right.
Time out. You think a Greyhound? I can smell before I can see. We humans, bro. You can see stuff before you can smell it. You can hear it before you smell it. Somebody busting tail. Hey, man, what you doing? You heard it, you see them, but then you smell it. Shut your, I'm trying to be philosophical and, yeah, I see it before I smell it and it don't smell right. To be honest, you ain't seeing or smelling nothing yet. Let little skinny, let Bobblehead finish what he's saying. Roll it.
So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race?
Yes.
Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism.
You know how stupid you got to be to make that claim? You are a civil rights attorney. You guys are civil rights activists. You sorry mother suckers don't, not one time are you going to go and defend a black kid who get killed by a black person. There's black people drowning and dying and getting raped and killed on suspicious circumstances, and y'all don't show up with a t-shirt, a fundraiser. You got to get killed by a black man, a white person, for somebody to pay for your funeral. If Nolan was out there with a bunch of from HBCU, he ain't getting the funeral. And you celebrities ain't paying for nothing. His parents gonna be doing fundraisers, doing car washes. You gotta be suspected to be killed by white people for black people to care about their own people. I'm gonna pay for his funeral. What's the last young brother that drowned? You ain't pay for his funeral? What's the girl that was hanging out with her black friends that got killed on some suspicious circumstances? Y'all not even paying for their funeral. You gotta be suspected of a white man killing you for black people to care. All right, TMZ is asking Mr. Corrupt Crump what he had to say. Roll the clip.
You have such a history with civil rights cases. Are you suggesting race is an issue here?
We're talking about the state of Mississippi, and we know, based on the history of America, in the Deep South, have been
60 years ago. Talking about 60 years ago. What? I just can't say no more. I think I'm done with this. Do we have something else we want to do? Because I didn't get to the next story. I'm so sick of black people being victims all the time. Oh, my God. The history of this country has been great to black people. You talking about pockets of time where it wasn't optimal for nobody. Asian people were slaves in this country. Modern slaves. Building railroad, construction, mining. Recently. Jews went through the Holocaust recently. And y'all Negroes still out here whining. I did a thing, y'all see it, it's gonna come out on Jubilee, where I debated black liberals. I'm not gonna give it away because I want y'all to go watch it. I posed the question to the audience and nobody could answer it. You wait till that come out and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Let's go to Jamie Carney, who got herself killed practicing suicidal empathy. Roll the clip.
An American mother from New York.
Time out. Before I say this, I want to preface this. This is a sad situation. It's unfortunate. Anybody getting killed, I don't care if they deserved it or not. It's sad. I don't care if they put themselves in a situation or not. It is sad. Somebody's mama got killed in a brutal fashion. That is my worst nightmare is for anybody in my family to ever have to suffer through this or suffer from knowing somebody that suffered through this. So let me preface it. But this woman did put herself out there because she's doing what she's going to be doing in this video. You're going to see what I'm saying. Roll the clip.
Has been found dead in a popular tourist town in Ireland, and the person of interest has fled the country. Irish police revealing the victim, Jamie Carney, fought to defend herself in her final moments. Authorities are on an international manhunt for the person who is reportedly an asylum seeker. They say he was able to escape to Turkey quickly after the deadly attack. His identity has not been publicly released.
All right, next clip. And this is her on Facebook. And I want you to look at her description on Facebook. So she in a video with this terrorist. I mean, I don't know if he's a terrorist, but he's a terrorist adjacent. New Yorker in Ireland Let me tell you how messed up this is. This is one thing. Let me finish the thing, and I'm gonna say this: Free Palestine and her thing, and F ICE. Like the mentality of these people, I'm surprised more of them don't get killed like this. But let me tell you something that stuck with me that I haven't gotten resolved. It says that she took her daughter to Ireland with her. That it took two people to have a baby. She remind me of these sorry women, and I don't know if this is her. I'm just saying this situation reminds me of these sorry women who take their kids away from their dad, the daddy, because they in some love triangle with some fool, and they gonna move out of state and take the baby with them. These women do this so often, it's crazy to me. It's like they think, oh, since I birthed the baby, the dad had no, they go move to different states, countries, they go do their own thing. I tell you what, my friend had a woman do this to him, and I hope God punish some of these women for doing this stuff to people. She done had a baby with him and moved out of the country with some basketball player. How you gonna do that? And then this girl, I put my life on it. That young girl think her daddy's a dirtbag. She think her daddy don't love her. She think her daddy's a loser. She think he a dirtbag. With my friend is probably one of the best, most involved fathers you're gonna ever find. He love from here. And his daughter probably think he a bad person because her mama want to move on with her life, so she gonna take the kid out of her daddy life. Play the clip.
Any man that has joined ICE, wants to join ICE, or supports ICE in any way has also never made a woman finish.
Time out. So you saying he made you, okay. I don't think finish is the word that you want to use in this situation. I wish she can come back to life and I could tell her, look, you don't want to use finish because this ain't going to, your suicidal empathy is not going to end well for you talking about finishing because you kind of got finished. All right, you talking about finish, you kind of got the ultimate finish. So quit, stop, Brandon, stop. The intrusive thoughts are coming. Roll the clip.
I really like it when Ali calls me those Arabic words like marshmallow and habitat. Oh my god, are you stupid? Do you mean habibti and mashallah?
All right, y'all get where this is going. So this woman gets beat to death. The person who found her dead body was her daughter, that she should have probably left with her baby daddy if she's going to be going over there to suicide land with these Muslims. And this guy, allegedly, I think it's the gentleman in this thing, he fled before she was ever discovered. So when people do activities like this, it is very consistent with a person being guilty of committing a crime, so they flee the scene. She lives with him in their house. She's beat to death. He flees before anybody finds her body, and they've now arrested a person of interest. I'm just throwing it out there. Let me move on. Y'all need to hear this though. I should have never said nothing because y'all gonna be mad at me for being insensitive. I should have just let this girl say everything I wanted to say. Let her say it. I erase what I said. I strike that from the record, Your Honor. I strike it from the record. She said it all. Roll it.
This is exactly what it looks like when you're ruled by an emotional, progressive ideology and you have suicidal empathy instead of common sense and self-preservation. Jamie Carney, 43 years old, American mother of New York City, moved to Clarny Island with her 13-year-old daughter, all with the hopes of being in a relationship with a 28-year-old Jordanian asylum seeker, Ahmad El-Sakar. Desperate for his acceptance, she would post romanticizing videos and pictures of them on social media. He bought her a ring, and before you knew it, he was sharing the home with her and her child. She somehow thought that because she was American, the rules of Islam wouldn't apply to her, and was naive enough to believe that love and extremism could exist between two opposing cultures. Then one night, her neighbors heard screaming and decided to call the police. When they found Jamie's body, it was hidden under a duvet cover, and her daughter was actually the person to find her, in the same house that she shared with her Islamic lover. Ahmed beat Jamie so badly that she actually suffocated from head wounds. But here's the plot twist. Al-Sakar had already fled the country. Right after the murder, he took a bus to Dublin and a flight one way to Turkey, all which was done before her body was even discovered. And now an international manhunt is now underway. This delusional game that liberal women have created is costing women their lives and their children their parents. And even shows like 90 Day Fiancé and Forbidden Love expose just exactly how mentally disturbed some of these women really are. How they fetishize the world of Sharia law and these women get off on the danger. Enjoying the forbidden thrill of dating somebody from a culture that doesn't value women the way they do, while still virtue signaling about refugees and Islamophobia. These women boldly ignore every single warning that we've given them, because their feelings and their politics matter more than the reality with their children. Common sense would have taught her to put her daughter first, but instead she chose an asylum seeker and paid the cost for it.
Ooh, ouch. I didn't say it, she said it. She said it. And is everything she said accurate? I don't know. I think he's wanted. I think they arrested a person of interest. They haven't identified who they've arrested. But I'm pretty sure he's the number one suspect. I'm just saying. All right, let's get to the last story of the day. I think, is this the last story? This is the last story of the day, and it's another one of these, what's that, Megan Good? Not Megan Good. What's her name? Renee Good. Renee Good making bad decisions. Part 2. I don't understand. These people are so stupid. It's crazy to me. I wish that God, I think about it and I say, God, how? How are these brilliant minds, capacity to have a brilliant mind, are so stupid? I don't know how people don't know how to do math. ICE arrested people who shouldn't be in this country, who committed crimes. They say stop. You don't stop, you try to drive over the top of them. We have now given you examples of why not to drive over the top of people, because it's gonna get you shot. So you try to drive over them again, and then you get smoked like a brisket. And then the stew heads amongst us are out protesting. We don't need ICE. Dude didn't rape people and everything. Why y'all arrested him? Because he black and brown bodies. I wish all of y'all get Sharia law over there. Go on over there, other country, and let them Sharia you. All right, roll the first clip.
17 minutes past the hour right now. Anti-ICE protests outside the office of Senator Susan Collins after a deadly shooting in Maine involving an ICE agent. This is Bedford, where the shooting happened about 25 minutes south of Portland. Our correspondent Alexis McAdams is reporting live here in New York City. She's got the latest details on what is happening there. Alexis?
Hey, Sandra. So as you can see here on your screen, this is a live look at what's going on in Maine. We know federal agents are trying to piece together everything that happened as witnesses tell local media that ICE agents surrounded a car and repeatedly ordered the driver to get out. Then seconds later, we're told they heard gunshots, and it was also captured on surveillance video. Listen to this. Blocked off in Biddeford, Maine, if we want to pull that video up, after the ICE-involved shooting earlier this morning. We are told that the FBI and Maine State Police are working the case right now, and the feds have not yet said who was killed, so we're trying to figure that out. And basically, for people watching wondering what's going on, there's more unanswered questions than we know, and we don't know what led up to the shooting. But hundreds of protesters, this to me would be the main story, or they are gathering now near the scene of the shooting. They're holding signs and they're demanding answers, including this woman.
I'm disgusted. This is horrible. I mean, the citizens of this country are literally being gunned down in the street for doing nothing. For the color of their skin.
And ICE operations have been ongoing in the state of Maine. Back in January, Griff Jenkins went out with some of those ICE agents, Sandra, who were part of what they called Operation Fresh Catch. They were looking for migrants in the country illegally accused of committing crimes. Again, for this situation, we aren't sure exactly what happened, but the shooting and protests come as Maine Democrats are scrambling to replace Graham Plattner in the upcoming Senate race. Many Maine voters had told me when I was out there, Sandra, that they're anti-ICE and they say immigration enforcement is their top issue in the race. Just the other day when Plattner dropped out, his last words were F ICE. So it's something that we'll continue to watch as they head to Susan Collins' office.
All right, Alexis McAdams on that for us. Thank you very much.
People just getting arrested for no reason because they color their skin. White people are the stupidest people. White liberals are the stupidest people to ever live in humanity. I said, God is my witness. When it's all said and done, and the book of life is closed, and we go back and look at the history, you're going to see that the dispensation of the stupidest, most idiotic people to ever live are white liberals and black liberals. Now, the black liberals ain't as bad as the white liberals. The white liberals are self-sabotaging. Black liberals are too. They terrible when it comes to that. They hate themselves. They think white people better than them. But then the white people go out and self-implode with suicidal empathy, and they try to ruin a country and devalue the value that white people have added to this world because of what? I don't know. So I think both of them understood. Liberalism, maybe that's a better black-white, because Jews are stupid too, the ones that voting for against their own interests. These Jewish people out there vote for Mum Dunny. How you... Y'all pray for me. Pray for me. I'm trying not to be so angry and superfluous or like exaggerated and anything. But like, I'm so sick of people being stupid, it's crazy. Like, and I think this is the end. All right, this is the end. I didn't want to show him pull out the car because it's kind of graphic. But when I talk to people about socialism, it racks my brain how stupid people are. It's like, what? When I tell you it hasn't worked anywhere in the world, and you still trying to tell me that we should have socialism in America? Like all the wealthy people who build like people are complaining about capitalism on a phone created by a capitalist. I saw a guy swear he thought he was really making a point. He said, oh, there should never be a billionaire on a phone made by a billionaire uploading to a social media platform made by a billionaire. What the are you talking about? You can't be this stupid. Black people running around talking about 100 years ago. We just, the country, systemic. What do y'all, that happened 100 years ago. Residual effect of, no, but let's talk about your involvement. The government, the white man, and white supremacy ain't pushing Tony down on that girl, getting her pregnant, and him not showing up to take care of his kids. The white man ain't make Shaniqua have 6 baby daddies. The white man didn't tell Latrell to get a stolen gun and go rob another black man. Nobody told you or forced you to start making degenerate music, degrading your own people, glorifying murder and violence. No, the white man didn't make, the Jew didn't make you do that. You don't love your people enough. You love money more than you love black people, even though you try to act like a black activist, that you're willing to take money from Jews to destroy your own community and then blame the Jew for it. They just capitalists. If you stupid enough to hate your own people and they stupid enough to buy the stuff, how you mad at the man that's making money in the middle? How about y'all make the money in the middle? But you too stupid to even make money off of hating your own people. I can't. The white man, racism, Jim Crow, redlining. These people don't even know the truth about redlining. It's just all made up stuff, y'all. I'm going to give you a statistical data point and you tell me, did you know this? Did you know that 92% of all the people in the red line districts that were disproportionately affected by the consequences of policies associated with redlining were white people? 92% of people that live in red line districts were white. The reason that we're talking about this in the context of blacks is because black people were disproportionately in redlining districts, but they were not the total number. Why don't we talk about the white people that were affected by redlining? Because you are stupid and evil. They talk about the red line. The demarcation line for redlining was drawn by the HOLC. The discriminatory policies that they're referring to occurred before the red line was even established. They cannot prove that the discriminatory policies or discriminatory loans or the lack thereof loaning in these areas had anything to do with the actual demarcation line. That was established later. That was not openly shared with private lenders. And then the reason that the OLC decided to draw the line is because that's the people that's in the red district that they will help refinance homes, which disproportionately they help black people refinance their homes. But y'all Negroes out here just acting like the white man done set you back 200 years because of redlining. Y'all can be stupid all you want and be poor and dumb and be second-class citizens before anybody made you a second class. Y'all walking around with $1 million in your pocket talking about the white man is better than you. I'm never gonna understand the stupidity of this. Y'all been voting for Democrats forever and you still complaining about what the country ain't done for you. Y'all voting for the Democrats who've been the majority of the policymakers that you claim was beneficial to black people, but y'all still complaining. Cities, communities, families, incarceration has gotten worse since y'all been voting for Democrats. Can I get an amen? All right, I love y'all. We'll see you on Post Your Clarity. We out.